No. Well, yes, but they're on the fully extended position there.
That's as far as they go that way?
It is, so it's built for short little Russian fat dudes, basically. You will feel a little high up to start off with, where you're sitting, but that's sort of the seating position. Okay. When we get going, or particularly for the taxi, bring your feet down flat on the floor, because you'll see the brakes. So you'll see the rudders moving a fair bit. Yep. As far as that goes. Yeah, let's get strapped in. So put all that in place, and then we'll put the shoulder harnesses on as well before we do it up, obviously.
Emergency landing gear.
That will turn on the emergency, the emergency air system.
The emergency air. Thank you.
So there's one on the floor too, if you grab that one.
That one goes in the middle or?
Yep, middle for the negative G one. There you go. Give it a click, it's all clicked in there nicely. Push, push, push. There you go. Yep, side ones first, and you can leave your shoulder ones until we go to take off. Obviously, the easiest way to get out is to open the canopy first, and then do the straps.
No parachutes, obviously.
I forgot them. I'm just joking. We don't wear them.
Yeah, I was reading the bailout thing. I was like, are we really wearing parachutes?
From the top, there's obviously the GoPro, smile for the camera. I'm pretty sure this G meter works in the back, but if it doesn't, I'll read out what G we get. Sure. There's the AI, weirdest AI ever. Now, the bit you can see that looks like sky is actually ground.
This bit?
Yeah, and the black is actually sky.
Good.
So that's why it's not really intuitive. But you know, whether it works in the back or not, it's another thing. But luckily we don't fly an IMC, so.
Yeah, VMC only?
Yep. Throttle there. There's a friction for that, but we leave the friction in the back off. Sure. And just use friction in the front. Yeah. Yep. You'll see this emergency shut-off valve here. That's also lock-wide in the front as well. You do have control. Here, that's the emergency shut-off. You do have control of the mags. Yep. You will override the front. So if you flick it to 0, we're becoming a Prius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just leave those to 1 and 2.
And that overrides the front. That's
yep. So the front's on 0 now, so they're on 0. Sure. But if you turn this to 0 and I've got the front ones on, then we're becoming a glider.
Sure. I won't do that.
That's cool. No one's done it yet. It's 200 feet AMSL for this airport here. The engine stuff in the back is, I'm not sure if it's reliable or not, but I'll tell you what I mean. You know how I said the pressures are basically 1 unit? Yep. You can see there that 1 unit is pretty much just off the stop. Just off the stop. For that one, and the old temperature is this one, there's the CHT for that one. And the magic number is, we operate really between 120 for the warm-up. To get it above there, and obviously up to about 180 is good. Anything up to 240 is okay, but we don't really operate it above 200. That's what we try and avoid to do. Apart from that, everything in the back I think we've spoken about. Everything else has been lock wide. You've got an emergency air over here if you need it, but I've got one in the front as well. And the idea with that one is you just open it up and it will just blow the gear down. And activate emergency brakes. That's it. You don't have to change anything or do anything. You just wind it on and it puts the gear down. It's really simple.
So we don't then need to put the gear handle down?
No. The idea is we just leave the gear handle in the neutral position, put the gear down, and once we get all.
One here?
No, we've taken it out.
Okay,
so when it comes to doing stuff like for the touch and goes, I'll brief you just to say landing gear up.
Sure. Up, the lights work, or I'll be checking the.
Yeah, they do. We just use the poles to be honest. They're the most reliable. They're old Russian lights. Some people have replaced them with LEDs, but we've got the Russian lights as well. But they're fairly reliable. I think they're working in the front. We'll definitely replace them in the front. Cool. All right.
So I've got 20 on the old temp at the moment. Which I think it started out. If you haven't flown for a while, I usually use the checklist just for the run-up. You see the run-up's got some stuff in there that can be a little tricky to thing, but if you look at the before flight, before start, it's pretty much a left to right. The start, prime, fuel system pressurise, we did that, then I jump out, come back in. Start. RPM 40, oil pressure greater than 1, and it says 44 to 51, so it kind of settles there anyway. I've got it at like 43, 44 at the moment. Things that we check a lot when we do our 10-minute checks is left to right, we basically air system. So normal and emergency air system are okay. Then straight across to the engines, CHT and fuel. They're the things want to do intermittently. Things that will catch you out is if you don't check the air system and you're flying around and you put the gear down on downwind and nothing happens, and you look down and you go, fuck, my air system has depleted and I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of single point failures in the normal air system that that can do that, so that's probably the thing to look at the most.
Sure. If there is a leak, do you just put the gear straight down and then come back and land?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if there's a problem with it, put the gear down, land, noting that you don't want to land anywhere that you're going to need to brake heavily.
Yep. Yeah, of course.
And another thing to do is, if you're really worried about it, as soon as you touch down for landing, turn the engine off, so you can basically not have that thrust.
Sure.
Stopping you from decelerating. So,
yep.
We've had a couple of people forget to turn the air system on in taxi, and they've noticed that the brakes fade, and they go, oh, my brakes have stopped working. We had one guy sort of end up on the grass over here,
yep,
before they realised that they got a start out of the air system,
yeah,
but then it just faded because the thing was turned off.
Right. There's no fuel indication in the back, is that correct?
Yeah, you just got to rely on me, or you can probably see it. I don't know if that's where I'm pointing. There's a low fuel light in there, 12 litres each side, which obviously the instructor used to use a lot, to monitor blogs.
Sure, yeah. It's that digital gauge that I can see, is that it?
That's the Shaden. So the Shaden is the American gauge we use, which is awesome. It's got so I've used 2 litres, and if you toggle it, you've got a remaining, so 118 litres remaining. So 120, 60 litres in each tank, and then it's got some fancy features. It's got a GPS attached to it.
Yep.
Almost there with the oil temps. Alright, we're good to taxi. So I'll do some taxiing and then I'll hand you over and you can have a bit of a laugh.
Sure.
You don't need very much to get going. If you just look where my feet are, you can sort of see doing this doesn't really do much until we get going, but once we get going, you get a little bit of effect if you go right, with the rudders, but really it's that's the torque moving us right. So I've got full left in there. I'm just going to squeeze the brake there a little bit and you sort of see it sort of bites.
Yep. And it's just a bite and then you let go of the...
Yep, if you're really good at it, you get the hang of it, you just sort of squeeze the brake just a little bit.
Yep.
I'll just get you to gently squeeze your brake now, just gently, see if it works in the back. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And you see it always swings to the left there.
Yep.
So you need to power up, squeeze the brake as you've got the full left rudder in there.
Yep.
And then back to centre. Copy. I reckon you spent a good half an hour looking at different exercises to do.
Yeah.
The best exercise is you can quite easily kick the nose wheel to a point where it's almost locked. Left and right. It's really the right that does it.
Yep.
And you've just got to basically power out of it. I'll demonstrate. On here today, which is really good. So yeah, I've got full left rudder, and obviously want to turn, I'm going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That's easy. It's only when you, like if you taxi into fuel bowser and you go right, squeeze, just something to give a little burst here.
Yeah.
Get to this point where you may stop like this.
Yeah.
And go, fuck, what am I doing? Just continue the right turn.
Yeah.
Is the easiest thing to do. And just go left. Once you get a bit of speed, then you can squeeze.
Yeah,
squeeze,
sure.
sort of power out of it. Another thing you can do is if you, for example, if there's fuel bowsers there and I've done this and it's come to a halt and going, fuck, what am I going to do now? Just release the brakes. I've got full left in there. I just have to power right up and squeeze the left. So you kind of got to use all that energy. You right to have a taxi?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's straight. See if you can taxi around to the right, handing over.
Taking over.
Yeah, just have a go of it. Just get the hang of full right rudder, bit of a squeeze. And obviously, if you want to stop, you go centralised rudder and squeeze.
Yeah.
There you go. And you got the throttle as well. I did this with Pip. Remember Pip?
Oh, yeah.
He flew this for a while. Yeah, it was interesting. We had a great time doing circle work on the runway. Oh, sorry, on the taxiway. Let's go, preferred runway's 35, so yeah, let's go right, and we'll taxi down the long way. There you go. Formation takeoffs, you got to really make sure the nose wheel is super straight before you stop.
Yep.
If you don't, and you have it kicked off, as soon as you release the brakes for formation takeoff, you could be, diverging left or right. So.
Yeah, sure.
And once you get a bit of speed up, depending on where the wind is coming from,
yeah,
you can just hold the rudder in there, and then just find that you're just doing this for the rudder, just basically central. You do taxi with the left rudder in most of the time, just because of the gyroscopic effect of the prop.
Any issues taxiing around with idle?
No.
The cooling or anything like that?
Not really, because we're always usually trying to make heat. You can see the CHTs are at like 170 now, which is nice. It's starting to warm the oil up nicely, so I'll leave them cold, and once we go to take off, that's when I'll open them up.
Yep. And
up in Queensland on a hot day, we'll just basically leave everything open all the time, and we'll kind of be battling the heat.
Yeah.
There's Paul Bennett.
Oh, that's the
stuff.
Yeah, Avenger.
The Avenger. These are all new hangers down here to the right.
Cool. I can't really see anything that's in front of us as well.
I'm keeping an eye out. When we come down, you'll see the run-up pages here. I'll just get you to go sort of angle into the right, and then I'll get you to do a 180 back to the left if you can, and we'll look at doing a run-up.
A light on the dash there.
Yeah, so you come into the right about, that's it. Now, come in this way a little bit more, and then we'll basically, if you can do a, come here to the left, and then we'll basically just use a bit of line up here. There you go. And just swivel it around that way.
Hold on. So 180?
If you have a go at it.
Yeah.
See how the nose wheel gets into the thing? And now go full right. And stop. Now, if you want to go forward from here, what you probably have to do, and I'll get you to do it as a bit of an exercise. Yep. Full right rudder here.
Yep.
Release the brakes, power up, and then squeeze the brake. So release the brakes.
Oh, hang on. How do you release it?
Oh, with your hand. Take it off your hand. Is it off?
Yeah, I'm not holding on to it.
Okay, cool. We'll power up.
Yep.
Up, more. And squeeze the right. There you go. And now you're straight again.
Yeah, right.
There you go. You stop here.
Cool. Is there a handbrake in the back?
No, you can just set it the same as I do, but we're only set one, so taking over, I'll set my park brake in the front.
Okay.
Alrighty, so for the run-up, basically we're doing CHDs are checked, so they're 180, they're good. Oil temp is 40 now, that's fine. Basically 70%, we'll cycle the prop 3 times to the front, just to get the oil pressure going, and we're looking for just an RPM drop there as we do that. Then we'll take it back to 64, look for that 100 millimeters rise in the torque, which you can't see, but it's really just to make sure the prop's working okay. So there's cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3. We look at the manifold pressure here, it's about 460, we just bring it back to 60%. Air goes off about 100, that's good. Back up again. Mags check, so simple mags check. Turn it to 2, back up. Turn it to 1, back up. Should only go down 3%. Bring it back to idle at 34%. We should get the generator light come on. Sure. And there it is. 24 volts. 58%. Generator goes off, and we get the generator charging. And throttle back to 44-ish%. Anywhere between 40 and 45 is good. Before takeoff checklist, I just go left to rights again, so I'll get you to firstly double check your harness is good. Harness is secure. Same. And around to the left, so air's on, switches, I'm turning everything on now to make sure that's all good. How's your AI in the back? Yeah, not right. Okay, that's fine. Is there a uncage? No, not really. If it doesn't work, it's only... I think that one in the back doesn't work in this one, but okay. Mine's doesn't work in the front. Check the air system again, as obviously that's still good. Yep. Also, you can see on your instrument panel, there's these screws on the top right and the top left. Can you see those? That actually look like they hold it in. I just double check to make sure they're tight, because they can loosen up, and there have been cases where the panel comes off. It just sort of flips down a little bit, but make sure they're tight. All the other instruments are good. We'll shut off the fuel primer is off, and obviously we're making charge, and I've got the battery generator ignition on. Everything on here is okay. I'm going to basically open up the power flaps, the oil cooler, and the carburetor heats off. Canopy is secure. Control check, so watch your knees. Yep. And we've done a thorough check of the rudder already. Happy so far? Hey sir. Fuel caps are on, that's the last thing I check. For the takeoff brief, I'll demo this takeoff there, Hamo, so I'll set about 60% on the brakes, and we'll do a full power takeoff because it's fun. I'll get airborne, you'll hear the whoosh as I put the landing gear up, and I'll just hold it off. I'll do what I do on my adventure flights, so just accelerate to the end and we'll just do a steep climb out. I'll just say pitching up in 3, 2, 1. We'll climb out at about 70 degrees nose up for about 500 feet of climb, and then I'll nose over and go over there somewhere. The gates to think about is we have an engine failure, probably try to rotate, I'll just pull the gear, pull the thrust back and do a landing on the runway, noting that we may go off the end of it. If I do have an engine failure while we're doing the speed up before we do pull up, I'll convert speed to height. We'll look for somewhere to land within about 30 degrees, 10 to 2. If you can just tell me if my speed goes below 150 kilometres an hour, that's the main thing that I don't want to do. At 1200 feet or above, we're good to go and do a turn back. So I'll probably do a left turn back into wind, and we can land on a taxiway, grass or the runway, whatever we see fit. If we're not quite cordoned, straightened up with the runway, I may land across all three, it just depends. Apart from that, any other problems we'll just talk about it because we'll have time. Do you have any questions on that? Negative. Alright, I'll just check to make sure this ICS box is set. Because as the engine comes up, it gets quite more, the intercom comes on all the time, it's really annoying, so I've just turned it up there so you'll see it's a little harder to talk. Sure. Cessnock traffic, Yankee Alpha 3 Yak is lining up runway 35 for departure, operating to the west of the airport for a local flight. Alright, clear. There's one guy on there. I will beat him. Otherwise, clear base finals, I think. That's seen? Yep. Often get it when people don't talk around base and finals. Yeah. All the time, yeah. That's really annoying. There he goes, coming around. Alright, I'll do a rolling takeoff just for get a little quicker, go crosswind from the left. Yep, everything's good. Last control check. You all set there, Hamo? Hey sir, hey sir. Just not traffic, Yankee Alpha is rolling, 35. Alright, there's full power. Friction on. Airborne. Here. There's 200 knots, kilometres. There's 230, clear above, coming up. Gear is up. There's our climb out attitude. About 120, we can pitch over. There's 1200 feet, continuing. And we'll pull the RPM back down to 80. 88 is what we're looking at for the climb out. This guy's on short final. Hasn't even landed yet. Yeah. Alright, so I've got 800 on the manifold pressure and 80 set on the RPM. I'll hand over to you, and you need a bit of left rudder. Yep. You've got a skid ball there in your AI, which is probably the only good thing about it. There's a good climb that altitude, aim for 200 kilometres an hour, and heading over.
Taking over.
And yeah, let's head out over here somewhere, or let's go and check Dave Mann's house out, so come before you right. Maybe another 10, 15 degrees, yeah, roll out there. We'll head over there and we'll go check him out. He's probably not there, but hey.
Give it a go.
Yep.
What altitude are we looking for?
Let's go up to 3,000 and level off.
Okay. There's no rudder trim, I'm guessing.
Fairly elevated trim. Up to takeoff, they're all done. Basically, the gear is up, the flap is up. Check the air system, check the engine.
And those red lights stay on the whole time?
Yeah, they do. You can see the poles of on the wings. What a nice day in the Hunter.
Yeah.
Not bumpy at all, which is nice.
It's pretty damn windy over at base.
Oh, what? Yeah, you said that.
Crazy windy.
Maybe come that 10 left, and you can pull the power back to, keep going, you don't have a manifold pressure about there, and then you can pull the RPM back to 70%. That's a nice sort of cruising RPM for us, and that's burning 70 litres an hour at that sort of power setting there.
That's not too bad.
It's alright, for a 400 horsepower engine.
Yeah.
So as far as stuff that we don't want to fly into, you can see I've got all this nice green paddock and vineyards down here.
Yep.
You see it stops and then you've got forest, basically.
Yep.
There's a road there that goes up and down. On that side is Army restricted area,
Okay.
which is up to 4,000 now, 24/7.
Yep.
And just on this side of that road is where Dave's house is, but over here somewhere. So we'll go check that out later. When we come down a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah, so we don't want to go over there, so if I get distracted, this is good up here. We've pretty much got up to about 8,500 feet.
Yep.
Yeah, just do some steep turns, get into it.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, you clear on the manifold pressure up to what you want, so just pick a speed you want to fly. 60 degrees works well. There's 2G as far as the meter. I don't know if yours works in the back.
Yeah, I've got it here. Yeah, good.
You can see the ailerons are quite sensitive. You don't need that much load on the elevator either.
Not much displacement of the aileron. Use your words, Hamo.
The stick?
Of the, yeah.
No, you're flying within a really small little box as far as what you're using. Only slow speed aerobatics you really need to put a lot of control input in.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, this is awesome.
Alright.
Coordinate your turns, generally?
I do, taking over.
Handing over.
I'll show you some errors, just go one for one. So 250, anything above 250 is good for an entry speed. Obviously your harness is still done up.
Yes,
Alright, cool. There's no loose items. Just an iron roll, so that's good attitude. You only need a little bit of displacement. That's my Adventure Flight Aeron speed.
Yep.
Because they're happy to see the ground.
Yep.
You'll find, I'll do a full deflection one. I come up, just watch your right knee.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. You'll find it does rotate.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And that's at 200 kilometres an hour. Obviously if you're doing it much faster than that, you'll get higher rotation speed. So
Yep.
handing over.
Taking over.
Do a couple of those if you want.
And we are clear. One to the left.
Handing over. Now, okay, so if you look down the right where I'm pointing, you can see 4 houses close together with like a bright blue roof. Yep. And some brown paddocks and then a creek. Yep. Okay, come back this way, you'll see a couple of brown vineyards and a house on a property with a brown roof and pretty much nothing else there. You see that at all? Yep. That's Dave's house. There you go. Awesome. That's Dave's house there. And looking out there, you can see the Volvo parked out there, which is not. So, yeah, Dave's obviously not there. Yeah. And yeah, there's the, it's actually, I'm pretty sure, see the next road down, the one that's got the line up and down? Yep. That's kind of the boundary that we don't want to fly into. But yeah, sure. I'll demo a loop. That's what we're using. About 250 is what you want. We'll use 2000 as a base for our arrows. Sure. Go a bit lower if I want to, but 2's nice. Okay, so 250, we're clear above. About 3D works well. You need a bit of left rudder as you go into these. Looking at the wingtips are symmetric. Yep, over the top, lots of left rudder now. Lots of left rudder. And then hold a constant stick position, and you should sort of roll out about the same piece that you started. A bit lower, but I'm a lazy looper. What can I say? Handing over. Taking over. Do one of those. What was the entry speed? Anything over 250. Bobby. Clear below. This is the line feature here. Alrighty. There's 250 coming up. 3G. Keep it going, that's good. Look above, look to left rudder. More left rudder. Pulling out of it a little bit, but not too bad. Yep. The 3. Yeah. Probably need about 3.5. Yeah. Nice. 2.5. Back up. Nice. Taking over. Handing over. A little bit of it. I'll just do a little wing over here. Yep. Oh, stall turns are the best. The thing with stall turns is just watch, try and get the wings symmetrical. It's really easy to get sort of offshoot, particularly offshoot right because you get the torque effect. Yep. So when I demo one, when I say look at the wingtips, just take a picture of what they look like as far as where they sit, reference the horizon. Sure. A little bit of throttle. Alright, let's roll out soon, and then we'll get our 250. And we'll go up for a stall turn. Okie dokie. Alright, so still clear above. There's our entry speed. Oh, we'll go for about 3.5G. Wingtip, and stop. Look at the wingtip. Yep, that's what you're looking for. Okay. Couple of seconds. Through 120. Full right rudder and a bit of left aileron. And try not to bunt here. Just keep it positive G or 0G. And then about 3.5G again. And you can see we lost a few hundred feet on that one, but oh well, so be it. I've got a lower power setting anyway, so yeah, sure. We are kind of descending a little bit, but that's alright. You can continue the left turn around to set up for another one if you want, handing over. Taking over. Alright, over to the left. And clear below. Knots, we're above, up we come. 3.5G, a little bit less. Left. Yeah, check spin. A little bit of right wing way, that's alright, right rudder. Right rudder, 120. Oh no. Centralised. Ooh, yeah. Recovering. Nice 4G there. And up the wing over to the left. Yeah, so out of the bottom, at the top of that one, we're a little on the back. Yeah. And we just needed to do, I don't really look at the airspeed to be honest. So maybe at 150 we'll do the controls for right rudder, left aileron. Because, yeah, we just kind of stopped at that one. Did that make sense? Yeah, it did, yeah. I was distracted looking at the speed. Yeah, just count 1 banana, 2 banana, and I reckon that'll do you as far as the speed stuff goes. Yeah, sure. Yeah, do another one. Yeah, maybe go that way. Hand over for a sec. Yeah, go for it. Take him. I got your phone here. Oh, is that what came out? Yeah. You got it? Yeah. Thanks. Put it in my pocket. I that look good in the video?
That's why there was a bit of a hesitation with the pull out. I just saw it floating there, and I was thinking, if I pull now, that's going to smash on the floor.
Oh, thanks for that.
That's all right.